Well, it appears the main opposition party, the PDP, is having a tough time keeping all its executives under its umbrella. 7 national officers, the party resigned their positions last week. With all of this that is happening, there will be more meetings tomorrow, we understand. The BOT and some selected leaders of the party will be meeting. There is pressure on Prince Uche Secondus to exit, including some NWC members. But it's just about 4 months before the change of guard. There's going to be another election for another set of executives in the party. But in all of this, what exactly is the crux of the matter, and what is the way out for the main opposition party in Nigeria? I've got the conversation that is going to be robust for you. I have an honorable member of the House of Representatives from which we understand today that they met, and the caucus are saying that Uche Secondus should leave. Honorable Fred Agbedi is a member of the House of Representatives representing Bayelsa State in the House of Reps. He joins us from Yanagua, and with him is a chieftain of the PDP and a former commissioner of the SOPADEC in Delta State, Mr. Ken Okolubo, joins us from Delta State virtually. And in our Abuja studio, thank you so much there, those 2 guests, is Mr. Austin Okai, a member of the PDP. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I guess it's time for us to get started with the conversation. Let's begin with Honorable Fred Agbedi. In the caucus of the House of Reps in the PDP, we understand that your group had met and said you want Uche Secondus to leave. Why?
Well, of course, Shehu, good evening, Shehu and Nigerians. First, like you said, I am from Bayelsa and a member of the PDP caucus, a very committed, loyal member of the party and at the House of Representatives, particularly to the PDP caucus. Actually, there was a Zoom meeting that was convened, and this was convened to look at the issues, knowing that once it's close to general elections, a lot of issues arise in all parties, particularly the leading parties. And that is why today you can hear a number of issues boiling in the PDP, boiling in the APC. But I will always say that as politicians and as party, there are ways in which we look at these issues and deal with them, to ensure that the party comes out stronger. And of course, the party caucus, the PDP caucus of the House of Representatives convened a Zoom meeting. Unfortunately, I couldn't get connected into that meeting, but I have read all the issues that were canvassed in the meeting and the decisions that were reached. They are all in public domain, and it's not in my character to deny my caucus whatever resolutions that were reached, whether I was present or not. And so for me, I go with the decisions of the House of Reps caucus, and I take it very seriously because the House of Reps caucus has always worked very hard for our party. Anytime the party is in crisis, we have been at the leading roles at every given time, including when the issue of party chairmanship tussle and crisis arose out of Sheriff, and Makarafi. We stood by our party. In fact, our caucus party, our caucus secretariat was the secretariat of the Makarafi-led faction until the court finally determined all the issues. We took responsibilities, financial and otherwise, and we feel at every time that we play these very extreme roles. And when it comes to issues concerning the PDP caucus in the House of Representatives, most of the times we feel that we will not really be taken along in taking decisions. And so I'm sure those who have pains arising from our efforts to strengthen this party and the support that we don't get is part of what that we have arrived at. And of course, we are in the chambers. Every day you see PDP members defecting to an association that is running Nigeria down. And what are the efforts? What is done by our party to stem these defections? We are not very clear about it. We are also seeing governors in
All right, we seem to be having connections issues. We will get back to the Honorable in a short while. Let me go to our Abuja studio with Honorable Austin Okai. What is at the bottom or at the heart of this old rumbling that we're hearing? Why would anybody want Uche, Secondus, and the NWC to resign?
Thank you, Seun, for having me. Yes, the whole thing is not about any group of people going personal against the national chairman of our party. It is about Nigerians not getting what they want from the People's Democratic Party, the oldest political party in Nigeria today. You and I are aware that the ruling All Progressive Congress has failed the nation in all ramifications. And by now, the PDP should be seen as a party waiting for power comes 2023. But despite the situation of the country, Nigerians, the governors that were elected on the platform of PDP, just as my friend Honorable Agbedi said, are leaving the party massively. If not because the National Assembly is in research, there is no day you will not hear of a senator decamping or a House of Representatives decamping to APC, the party that Nigeria is supposed to be afraid of by now. On the issue of insecurity, on the issue of shrinking economy, the People's Democratic Party, as supposed leading opposition party, is not providing an alternative for the way out. Internal crisis under the leadership of Prince Uche Secondus. As you are aware, it takes the interventions of the Governors Forum yesterday to resolve the crisis that emanated from the primary election that was conducted in Anambra. And Shem, let me remind you one thing. Before then, 2 governors were contacted by the leaders of the People's Democratic Party under the leadership of Prince Uche Secondus to conduct that primary. They refused. Because so many of them see that this is a kind of a bomb planted that whoever goes there will definitely have a problem. And since the primary was conducted till now, the People's Democratic Party refused intentionally to set up a reconciliation committee to resolve that problem. But thank God for the like of Governor Victory of Adamawa State and others who sat yesterday and get that resolved. How long should we wait for the court to decide over the authenticity of who is the winner of PDP primary? There was an issue of corruption raised against Prince Uche Secondus-led leadership. What was expected of opposition leader to do is to address the issue raised. But rather he ran to court against Kashim Afegboa. I do not speak for him. Or you hear a situation, a media release from his office, calling people all sorts of names, accusing the governor of PDP as Father Christmas, funding his removal, despite the loud sound on the road that the PDP has failed. As at today, can we say that Nigeria adjoining PDP has been a party that is ready? This is not about Prince Uche Secondus. It's about sanitizing the opposition to be on the path of victory come 2023. And for us to get that done, a man who has failed to lead the party, to stand by the people, can't conduct a free and fair convention. We know how important convention is. You are aware there are so many legal cases or the legal tussles that will arise. A man who cannot conduct a primary election in one state can't conduct a national convention for People's Democratic Party except otherwise. For that, therefore, it is timely for us to seek his exit immediately from Wadata Plaza. But I'm not concluding. This party is a structured political party that is guided by the rules and regulation. Therefore, let us see what the BOT will come up with. And let us see, just as Governor Tambua just said, between now and tomorrow, the final resolution will be reached. And we will know either Prince Secondus can convince the structure of this very party that it should be allowed to complete its remaining 3 months or 4 months.
All right.
Or
so,
he will leave.
Mr. Okay, just for a moment. Let me go back to the virtual platform where we have my other guests on the program. Before I go to Mr. Okolugbo, let me go back to Honorable Agbedi. Honorable Agbedi, there seems to be some division in your caucus because from the caucus where Honorable Chinda came out as the leader to say they want Uche Secondus to leave, the leader of the opposition in the House of Representatives, Honorable Undudi Elumelu, has come out to say there's nothing of such. Let me read out the statement from his office that he sent out today so that you can react to it. Honorable Elumelu says that if such a meeting held, it was without the knowledge of the leadership of the minority caucus and therefore in breach of established procedure. Meanwhile, we're working in concert with organs of the party to ensure sustainable resolution of the current challenges that will be in the overall interest of the party and Nigerians. Let me allow you to react to it. According to Honorable Elumelu, there's only one leader of the PDP caucus, and that is Undidi Elumelu. Is it?
This is one of the issues that the present party leadership has not been able to resolve. First, the minority position is not an exclusive PDP position. It is of all the minority parties in the House of Representatives. The PDP has a caucus leader who is Right Honorable Shinda. And this has even been confirmed by a court of competent jurisdiction. And so when you're talking about procedure and all that, we are not talking about minority parties. We are talking about PDP and PDP caucus. And the PDP caucus is made up of those who are loyal to the party. Those in PDP who flouted the minority caucus are those who are disloyal to the party. When the party and the Governors Forum could not resolve this impasse between the loyal PDP members led by the leader of PDP caucus, Shinda, and the minority leadership could not resolve this impasse, it was even those of us who are loyal party members that said, okay, let's put this behind us. So long as we have a PDP caucus leader that has been validated by a court of competent jurisdiction, we will continue to be loyal to our party. And we know what we face as loyal PDP members of PDP caucus in the House of Representatives till today as we speak. Those of us who are leaders of minority that form alliance with the majority party that runs the minority caucus are still till tomorrow not loyal. And that is why it's not surprising that the minority leader is issuing this kind of statement. That itself is an issue that this present leadership was unable to resolve till today until we decided that in the interest of the party, we are going to allow them run. And today we recognize them as minority leaders, but not as our party PDP leaders. So we are talking about the statement that was issued by Right Honorable Shinda, who is the leader of PDP caucus in the House, is a statement issued by loyal members of the party who till today are suffering their loyalty to the party in the floor of the chambers. You know, so all these are the issues that we're talking about. Leadership is a price. And when it gets to a time where the leader needs to speak straight, he should speak straight. On this issue, our party leadership has not spoken straight until we decided that no, We are loyal to the party. Whatever that happens to us, whatever that befalls us, we are ready to move on as loyal members of the party. And so,
Honorable Agbedi. Yeah. So let's take a breather. We'll take a break. And when we come back, the conversation continues. We look at Secondus and the PDP's future. What is the way forward? My guests will weigh in. I'll bring in Honorable Ken Okolugbo to weigh in on this matter as my other panel tonight. Join us again. Thank you. So we are beaming the spotlight on the People's Democratic Party, the nation's main opposition party. The intensity of that light is getting more now because the attention of the leadership of the party, including major stakeholders with meetings and deliberations here and there, are happening at the same time in the nation's capital. It will continue tomorrow, and we're keeping tabs on it. And that's the reason why my panel tonight are dipping their teeth into the issue, and we hope to give you perspectives as a citizen. So let's get back to the conversation. And let me begin now with Mr. Ken Okolugbo, who is with us from Obiaruku and Ukwane area of Delta State. Thank you so much, Mr. Okolugbo, for your time on the program. I know you're not one of those who believe that Secondus should leave, but you must have your reasons. What are those reasons?
I listened very carefully to what the other members of the panel have said, especially my good friend Fred Agbedi. And I clearly thought that, first of all, you remember you first broke this in April when you had me and Kazim on the program, and it was not nipped in the bud. That is one place I actually blame Uche Secondus. He took a lot of things for granted. There's so many the organs of the party were not meeting as frequently as they were supposed to meet. Of course, the Governors Forum have started meeting, and we can't even blame them anymore as we were complaining initially, because the governors are the conscience of the party, as the BOT has not been meeting as it's supposed to also meet. But the buck stops in Uche Secondus' table. But where I differ from Fred, because we've spoken extensively about other issues of the party, the fact that the party is not vociferous enough, where I clearly differ from them is, I wonder why the hurry is. In April, I actually said that on the 9th of December, Uche Secondus' tenure will be over. Why are we so much in a hurry when it is 4 months to the time? If Uche Secondus doesn't resign, he will not convene a meeting. Our concern is very clear on who convenes a meeting of the National Working Committee. The neck of the party is the only body that is actually empaneled, and the NWC to take certain decisions outside the convention. Why won't we wait to the night of December when his tenure is up to Uche Secondus? What I thought we should be doing now is to be calling for a convention planning committee to be put in place. I'm happy that governors are meeting at this point in time. We should start sending nomination forms to the auditor, to be. Those positions are what we should start advertising by selling nomination forms and expression of interest forms. And then the online registration. He will not finish this online registration in 3 months. People take the experience of APC as regards their online registration. We know how much they kept postponing. Not postponing, they kept giving more time. After a while, they'll give more time. So that is an idea that would have bought into that. In 3 months, we might not be able to conclude our online registration. The convention committee will be going on at the same time. And by November or so, we'll have our convention towards replacing Secondus on the 9th of December, since the pressure is on for us to have a breath of fresh air. So why are we asking him to leave? That's where I differ, because we don't want to have litigations. We don't want to go into litigations that are unnecessary. We can avoid these litigations as a political party, especially as an opposition party that is endangered. Dealing with the government, we're saying that it does not tolerate opposition, does not tolerate criticism. So we should be mindful of that. And that's what I actually think, Sheung.
with what you have on the ground, I'll go to Abuja quickly, and hopefully, Obiaruku network there might allow us see you better, Mr. Kolibo. Just stay with me. I'll come back to you in a moment. Anthony Hayileba, a member, a very critical stakeholder in the PDP, as relating to the issue of new media, joins us from Abuja studio. It's good to see you, Mr. Hayileba. Let me take the matter to you and get your view. For those who think that 3 months or 4 months is going to be a long time, and for the young people who stormed your party today and said, in the last few months, they've lost 3 governors to the APC, and they don't want to lose more. And the reasons why they think that Prince Uche Secondus should go, give us a sense of what is happening, because what we are also hearing on the ground from some of the members of your party is that some governors are behind all of this. They are the ones who want Uche Secondus to go. Is that true?
Sure. Unfortunately, I think on a day when your sun should shine, people are busy looking whether you have rainbows. PDP just did its e-registration pre-launch today. I think that's very critical in the growth of the party, and I think that should have taken center stage than having this conversation, quite frankly. As far as I'm concerned, those that give are those that can take. Those that brought Secondus, our national chairman, are equally those that may have the capacity to remove him. But what some of us, in the interest of the party, we do not want a party that is unstable. We don't want a party that is governed by self-interest. As far as I'm concerned, on this matter, I tend to always not want to make comments because I generally feel that the greatest intentions are often lost in conversations that are really not even pertinent to our survival. For instance, what are the core defects that PDP suffers today? Are we talking about fixing them? Are we talking about the capacity to produce leadership that responds to the people? Leadership that understands what the people want. So, for instance, the PDP is looking to go to convention in December. Are we still going to have a unity list? Are we going to have a list that is from the people? Those are the issues that bother me, Shehu. I didn't work so hard to bring Chairman Secondus. I've worked with him. Whatever he's going through now, I mean, he knows those that blow his whistle. He knows those that he can appeal to. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, the governors should go and sort out themselves with Secondus. What we are concerned about is where the party is today. The party has started its e-registration. We're here to tell people that this party is focused. Let me tell you, Shehu, when you start to compare the kind of problems we have in PDP, those are internal issues, a family issue. And however it happens, I can assure you of something, that the PDP will resolve its issues. More as against another party that has structural problems, that they do not even exist as it were, because all the actions that somebody may have taken in the last couple of months are all actions that are in nullity, if we go by the Supreme Court ruling. So for me as a PDP member, I'm quite focused on the things that will project the party to the Nigerian people, which includes the novel idea of its e-registration that it kicked off today. The party is bigger than anybody. I will not bring myself to come here, Shehu, and start discussing NWC members that barely have 3 months to the end of it. If they want him to resign, they can get him to resign. That's their business. For me, the most important thing are the Nigerian people. Those are the people that I am focused on. Those are the people that we in PDP truly want to work for. Everybody, as I was coming into your studio, different people, please, PDP should come back. We are hungry in Nigeria. So for me, these distractions, this chairman, whether he has performed, he has not performed, we are where we are. We need to change government in 2023. That's the priority. So for me, if people feel that maybe, I can tell you a few of the suspicions, a few of the fears he has. He doesn't want to be disgraced out of office. He doesn't want, people are afraid that when he goes to the convention committees, he may form committees that may extend his tenure. All those things are not relevant to the Nigerian people, Shehu. I didn't join PDP to come and be settling chairmanship problems. That's their problem. Shehu, what matters to the Nigerian people is that by November 2020, Shehu, please, you know, we in PDP, there are different classes and sets of PDP. Some of us are in PDP as a machinery to solve the problems that Nigerians are currently going through. And quite frankly, I've not made any public statement on what is going on because even if the convention happens today, I don't even think I'll be a special delegate for my district. Unless,
but Anthony,
PDP decides that registration they are doing, they are going to use it for the convention.
I wanted to ask you this. In 2015, pre-2015 election, I'm privy because as a political journalist, some of these issues come often over and over, and we cover them and we see what is happening. In fact, at some point, the issue of family is a family issue as being a very popular one. Each time
it's a family affair.
Yeah, so when you say it's a family affair, you make Nigerians look like Medicine Interloper because this comes and it's very critical, especially because of the main opposition party. You spoke in parable earlier when I asked you, who are those who want Uche Secondus to go? Are they the governors? And who are these governors? Can you tell Nigerians that?
So, there are people who may feel that Secondus does not meet the expectations they have of him. They are entitled to their rights. It is a political party, Sheon. As long as we are not dismantling the main blocks of the party, they should go and resolve their issues. I, Anthony Ayilebo, will not get involved in Secondus or those that brought him, or those that want him out. As far as we are concerned, Sheon, as far as we are concerned, the decision, I think they should all find a way to sort themselves out. As far as we are concerned, we ordinary members of PDP, what concerns us is that we have a party at the end of the day. And that we have a party that is ready to contest the 2023 elections. That is what matters to us in the PDP. That we, the honest truth is this. There are very valid arguments for those that will say, oh, Secondus hasn't performed, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. Very valid arguments. Then people argue with you. There are people who are in the middle ground and say, look, if we remove Secondus now, we need the party to be stable between now and December. And there are fears from those other parties that feel that he will meddle with the convention and tilt it to his way if he decides to run for the December elections. Now, I say one thing. If there is a legitimate ground and they have enough momentum to remove him, fair and good, do it without damaging the party. But if it's going to damage the party, then I think the leadership of the party, as they are doing, we have internal mechanisms. They can resolve. This decision will not lie between me and my brother that is in the studio here. This decision, we know the people that will take that decision.
Austin,
so
let me
it's
bring
either
back
for
Austin,
the two pressure groups to make their case to that person. To
Austin,
that group. And, I can tell you that between the governors and the neck of the party, those are the people that have the capacity to remove him.
All right, Austin, so what's your view on what Anthony has said? Yeah, Austin, what's your view on what Anthony said?
Yeah, Anthony is being economical with truth, and he's playing politics here. And that is why we are where we are. How can he say that the governors decide? Are the governors not answerable to us? Has he, Prince Secondus, has once called for the resignation of President Muhammad Buhari? What is wrong in us calling for his resignation based on the premises that we discovered that he can't conduct the coming National Convention because he will form the committee for the National Convention. He will set up the committee that will conduct the screening of various aspirants. And this same man cannot conduct any primary election in the party without crisis. He has not resolved any problem. So for him to sit down here and tell us that he's less concerned, he's just an ordinary member of a party. Well, some of us are not just an ordinary member. We are critical stakeholders of this party. And the issue affecting the party today is affecting the nation. You are aware various secessionists, the Ogdua nation are calling for their own nation. The IPOB are calling for an independent nation. All this arises from the fact that the current leadership of the party has failed of the country has failed to carry everybody along. For that, if PDP is expected to come and solve the problem, then we should have a party that is ready to navigate the country from the call for secession. Hence, every citizen of this country should be concerned about what is happening in the leading opposition party. Not for my friend Tony Ilabo to tell us that people that brought him are the one. How long should we cede our power to the governors? Yes, we elected them.
But the question I was asking, Mr. Okai, the question I was asking Anthony, and when he was explaining, the question is this: who are those who want him out? Because we understand and we are hearing that some governors are behind this. Is it true?
I don't think anything wrong in the governors who are funding the party, since that they are losing their colleagues in calling for resignation of Jesus Secondus. You are aware it's only God that helped us. If not, we would have lost the like of Seyi Makinde, one of the best performing governors of your state, because of the crisis in the Southwest. You are a political journalist. You are aware of that. You are aware that the party lacked mechanism to settle the crisis, what he called the family problem, without people hearing it. And that is why you see people protesting today in Wadata Plaza. So I don't think if the governor can produce
just a moment.
Let me bring back. Has the power to remove him.
Yeah, just a moment. Let me go to the virtual platform and get my guest there. Ken, are you still with us, Ken?
Yes, I'm still with you. Can you hear me?
Great, yeah. I can hear you, but I cannot see you right now. But what's your view?
Why can't you see me? Obiaruku has network.
You've not proven that Obiaruku's network is good enough. But, I mean, with what we're saying, Ken, what do you think is the way out? It does look like what I'm hearing about the governors intervening, and in the past, whenever the governors prevail in this matter, they always have their way. Oh, no. Ken, Obiaruku Network is not giving you that opportunity.
First, Sheriff was actually brought about by... Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was breaking. It was breaking for the last few seconds, so we couldn't get anything.
Okay, what I was saying is that when Sheriff was brought in by the governors as at that time, this same Sheriff was found out not to be fit and proper by the same governors. But what I think at this point in time is that if you look at what we are saying, those have not exactly performed. And nobody's saying that he has performed because he has taken a lot of things for granted. But what I think we should do at this point is to avoid unnecessary litigation. Governor Kowa was the one that midwifed the convention that brought Uche Secondus. He was the one that also midwifed the convention that brought Atiku Abubakar. And everybody agreed that those two conventions were very free and fair. So if my brother...
We're losing you again. We can't get you. Let me allow Honorable Agbedi to come in. Honorable Agbedi, what is the way out right now? Like I was asking Ken, each time the governors prevail in this kind of situation, we saw what happened pre-2015, the crisis that rocked the party to the extent that the whole party lost at the center. This is similar to it. What is the way out from your own point of view?
Yeah, first, Sean, let me start by saying that it is wrong for anybody to create the impression that our national chairman, Secondus, and this working committee has not performed. In the first place, in the last elections, through their leadership, we were able to have 17 states, even though, you know, our number is depleting now. Again, it's not also right to say that they've not done their best. But like I said before, when it comes to getting close to general elections, several interests come into play. And let me also say that when you say governors, I heard one of your panelists talking about in one breath is berating governors, in another breath is talking about governors funding. The governors are the leaders of this party in any way you look at it. And I'm happy that the governors have started meeting. At the end of the day, the governors will come out with decisions that will help this party move forward. The fact remains, like one of your panelists says, we have a few months for this administration to end. It is also possible for us to really set up a convention committee that will midwife the conventions and bring in new leadership into the party. So I do also not agree to the extent that we should begin to pull down structures and then bring in acting and that and that. No, whatever it is, we can start early drive for conventions and let the convention committee begin to run the party. Whoever that wants to contest, including Secondus, if he feels that he wants to run again, he has a right to contest, And then the party members has their way to vote whoever they want to come back to leadership in the position in the party. But I think that
if he wants to run again, that will be determined where the party decide to.
That will help the party arrive, at a decision that will unite the party more in preparation for our convention.
All right. So I was going to say that if Prince Uche Secondus will run again, that will determine where the party decide to zone the presidential position from 2023.
Yes. And that's why, that's why I said contest is a matter of choice. If you wish to, if you don't, of course, So, but what I'm saying is that now that the governors are meeting, I'm sure that they will come out with decisions that will unite the party and lead the way forward. But most importantly, I think that we should be looking at conventions rather than pulling out anybody from office.
Okay, so let's wrap up now, and let me allow Austin Okai and Anthony Ahilaba to give us their final shot on the program in just about a minute that we have left. Anthony, what do you think is the way? I'll allow you also to respond to what Austin said.
Thank you very much for, because I think that response is very critical. You see, my brother Austin and I agree fundamentally on some issues that the party is not quite right, but he has raised issues that I think that we should look at the issues first. He has raised, and the other speakers have raised the issues of we have to look at how our party goes to conventions. Why is the chairman the person that conducts? You cannot be an umpire in your own election. These are the fundamentals that I think that are my type of person or some of us within the party. We're looking at more solving the problems we find in the processes of the party. That's what matters to me. So for me, as everybody is having this tussle left, right, and center, I'm sitting back. And a few of us are thinking, so why are the people afraid? Why do we even say the governors are? Why don't we even take power back and give it back to the people? Which I think essentially is what the e-registration is trying to do. And I think is where PDP is trying to find itself. So all these issues, if we had a situation where, or if we have a situation where the total powers of controlling the convention is taken away from one man and put in the hands of trusted people who have no vested interest, I think all of these agitations will die down. Like I told you, the issues beclouding the party right now are normal issues when it comes to us. We are approaching election. People are trying to fight for the soul of the party. That's the simple truth. We can't come on air, Shehu. We can't come on air and pontificate as if it's a normal thing. I don't want people to have the perception that PDP is crumbling or PDP will solve its problem. Just rest your mind. They will find it if they have fears that this man conducting convention is going to be a problem.
You guys,
I assure you, between today and tomorrow, the governors are meeting.
Like Medicine Interloper in your matter, where you say it's a family affair. We are involved in this matter. Journalists,
it is a family affair.
We will interfere in your matter.
I think that we should talking about our registration today.
But let me allow, hold on, Anthony, because we need to go. Austin, your final shot.
Yeah, I have this for the governors and the BOT member that are holding meeting on our own behalf. It is important they listen to what the people are saying on the street. And if Prince Uche Secondus, is going to be allowed to stay, he should give assurance that he is not going to interfere in the coming national convention and that he's going to conduct a free and fair, crisis-free national convention. And I wish them sound deliberation over the night, and we are waiting for them to come up with a final resolution. Thank you.
Austin Okai from our Abuja studio, as well as Anthony Ahilaba. Thank you, gentlemen, from our Abuja studio. And virtually, we've had Honorable Fred Agbedi. He's a member of the House of Representatives representing Bayelsa State. And we didn't hear much from our friend Ken Okolugbo because the network in Obiaruku, his village in Ukwani area of Delta State, is not as good enough to allow us. But we'll get into the studio one of these days. Gentlemen, Nigerians are into your matter. We are not Medicine Interloper. We will be involved. It might be a family affair, but we are all together. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching tonight. That's our show for today. I'm Sean Wakimale. Bye-bye.